Hey guys!
So this is me, Felipe, in the background, and we're very excited to announce to you that today we're going to be reviewing the Beauty Bay iconic UK brand of cosmetics and skincare. I have talked about it in the skincare, so far we've tried here and there, but this is the very first time that Donald is indulging in touching basically with this beauty eyeshadow palette. How do you feel about it, Amel? Tell us more about it.
I feel really excited. My name is Duhamel Bentley, if you don't know me. Mwah. And girl, before we go at it, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, it's highly advised, to subscribe. Hit the little notification bell so you know when we're posting. Alright, baby? So, let's get into it. We're talking about Beauty Bay's 16 color palette. It's the little, but not so little, fiery palette. Oh my gosh, you guys. I am so excited to talk about this. I honestly did not. Number one, I knew about it when like Jeffree Star was like hanging out a lot with what's his name? No. Uh-huh. With Mama Mitchell, and with looking at his stories, he would speak about Beauty Bay.
Here's some water, honey.
Thank you.
You can drink up while I'm drinking everyone here.
Oh my
So
gosh.
basically, I've never heard about Beauty Bay. But I gotta tell you that Beauty Bay, from my perspective of skincare, it is very affordable. I've never actually seen such an affordable price. I think the only ones that are like affordable when it comes to skincare is like The Ordinary, Inkey List. But Beauty Bay really, really hit my heart because I've honestly fell in love with the products that we've tried. Now, if you don't know, where are we located? We are located in North America, in the United States. So if you're watching us from the UK, hi, how are you? And if you're watching it from another part of the country, or the world,
Right here, right now.
definitely, keep an open mind. When you place an order with Beauty Bay, it does take a longer time to get it delivered to your home. So I just wanted to say that in the video because if you are ordering or placing an order, it took us about a month just to get this delivered.
Yeah.
And it was so behind. The prices are affordable, and the products of skincare that I've tried, I fell in love with. So
I agree.
that's why I wanted to add that onto the video.
Thank you. Thank you for your input. I agree with you. It's an overseas thing. It's gonna take longer for sure, but I'm really excited because I had seen it, and of course, I love, well, if you don't know, I love cultures and I love just exploring different products from different brands, from, different ethnicities. And this, to me, is exciting because sure, it's a color palette, but it's a color palette, created by a different world than what we know or what I know, right? So it's just really exciting to be able to not only be part of someone else's creation, being able to enjoy it. And I really like it. I love packaging. It has a little mirror here. And you guys know that I'm not the biggest fan of like using mirrors that come with a palette. So I don't really mind if they do or if they don't have it. However, this is a cute mirror for those of you guys that do use a mirror. It's a very cute mirror, not weight at all. Like it's not whatsoever heavy. It doesn't look cheap, and it looks like it's a good quality product. Now, of course, the eye look that I have going on today, I did it with the Fiery. I'm going to be doing a second look, and of course, I'll be recording that. So I wanted to show you guys what colors I used particularly on this look today. The shades that I used for mine were Honey Roast, Hot Sauce, Burnt Sienna, and Peaches and Cream. To create this look, it was just so much fun, and I was able to create it actually very seamlessly. My experience, at least with the shadows that I was able to touch on today, were nothing but great. Like everything was very easy to work with. The blend was beautiful. The pigment wasn't fading away. So I'm really excited about getting to know this brand a little bit more because I've been wanting to. I've been really wanting to. I know that There's a world full of amazing, incredible products, and I'm just excited that I've been able to get my hands into something that might possibly be. I don't know if by the end of this video, it might be the worst thing or it might be the best thing. So let's do the first row. So this is the first row right here. It's a really cute row. Actually, you can do a full beautiful eye with this entire color selection just right here. It's very bronzy, it's just very warm, it's just very, very beautiful. And that's exactly what drew me to this palette, was that I have this fixation with like warm tones. They're just so beautiful. So let me take this off and let's go on to the next row. This is the second row. Really beautiful warm tone colors as well. Now we're getting into those volcanic tones that I love so, so much. So that's really nice. I'm liking it so far. Let me go ahead and take this off and let's go on to the next row. So this is the third row right here. Very, very beautiful again. Those metallics are just gorgeous and so, so buttery. Fourth and last row, and I'm honestly so surprised of how beautiful all of these guys have been individually. It gives me a lot of like fall, a lot of like winter vibes for some reason. It's very, very, very nice. The actual metallic ones in here are just very silky, very, very soft. I was quite surprised by that. They don't look chalky, which is one of the things that I was a little nervous about, because of course it's so affordable. This is a $10 palette with the 16 shadows. That essentially makes the shadow $1.60 a piece. So affordable. So of course I was a little bit nervous and hesitant, especially not even understanding where the brand comes from or the quality of the product. And when now that I'm trying it, I'm so happy and so pleased so far.
How do you feel the texture? Sorry to interrupt you. How do you feel the texture?
That's exactly what we're talking about. That, in particular, the textures so far have been very velvety, very creamy. Some of the mattes do feel a little bit drier than others. However, I think that's pretty normal within different formulas. Sometimes when you go more pigment or direct pigment, it could be a little bit drier. So I mean, I gotta tell you, within my experience as of this first look, this is a steal.
Now, I do want to touch base with you really quickly into something. It's not really healthy to compare brands, because a lot of times, let's say I was going to say, how do you compare this with Morphe? But yet Morphe has some palettes that are good and some palettes that are really not good.
Right.
But
I think that's every brand, yeah.
With BH Cosmetics, Morphe, and other brands, how do you feel about it?
So definitely understand what you're saying. Those are brands that we're more familiar with. I've got to say that this is similar but different than Morphe. I feel like it has the innovativeness and it has the creativity and it has the options that Morphe has. However, I think they might be a little bit creamier than Morphe. I think they just might be a little bit creamier than Morphe. Oh, girl, the earth is shaking and quaking. I already know. However, I don't know. We're not done with this. The swatches went beautifully. They worked really, really well as a swatch. Very, again, creamy and delicious. Let's go on to the next look because, girl, I mean, this is a little daytime moment. Hi, yes, let me get a croissant and or a tea. We're in England right here right now with Miss Beauty Bay. All right, now, so let's get into the tutorial side of things here. I have prepped my skin quite adequately. I did my face off of camera. I still have to finish off a couple of details. However, I made sure to bake before we get on to the look we're going to be creating again today with the Fiery palette. Again, I just can't get over how beautiful packaging is. Just really nice, really kind of fresh. I haven't personally seen any other palette looking like this. So, I mean, chops off to Beauty Bay for sure. I didn't get to show you guys the actual packaging that it comes in. And it's in this black box here, has this kind of like monochrome finish on the lettering here, and it just says eyeshadow palette. It's really, really nice. I kind of really love it. It says more than just essential 16 color eyeshadow palette, contains carefully curated mix of mattes, shimmer eyeshadows in a warm, vibrant color harmony. All right, that sounds like a song. Get it, girl. So from flaming reds to oranges, golds, warm mattes, and each shade has a blendable velvet texture, intense color pigment, and major staying power. Okay. I gotta be honest with you, it's an all-purpose palette. You can utilize it for evening looks, day looks, things like so. Because even though it says to be very fiery, I think this is very wearable. So let's start off. I think I'm gonna do I think I'm gonna start with Brisk, which is this pigment down here. It's almost like a firewood kind of tone. It has definitely that fieriness, that volcanic shade that I absolutely go nuts for. I'm just fixing this really quick so it's kind of out of my way. But it also has a really nice neutral brown underneath. Now, let's see, what do I want to grab? I'm opening here my little brush vault, and I think I'm going to start with this Sephora brush. Actually, no, this is a Sonia Kashuk brush. Looks like the Sephora one. This is another Sephora one. Let's go with the Sonia Kashuk. So this is what the Sonia Kashuk brush looks like. She is not shedding, but she has a little hair that's a little bit longer than the rest. And if you're my crew, girl, you know that drives you crazy. So I'm just grabbing the product here, tapping off excess, and I'm just gonna start actually patting it instead of softening it. I want intensity, I wanna build intensity. All right, so as you can see here, just by dabbing this buffing brush, which typically you wouldn't usually use a buffing brush, I guess this wide to place it. Of course, this is the very beginning stages, but I just want you to see the color placement is very intense. And if I'm honest with you, there's no fallout with such a dark shade, which makes me really, really happy, because usually I do my eyes before I do my face because of that exact same reason. So on forward with that, I want to go with Burnt Sienna, which is this darker shade, but not quite as dark as this one. This is a little bit more red. All right, now that I have placed both the Brisk and the Sienna kind of meshing into each other, I'm gonna go in with a clean, fluffy, kind of tighter brush to make sure that the blending is quite lovely. I do think so far everything's blending out quite easily. I'm just more making placement and then preparing for other shades. I have focused mainly in making sure that the area where I'm kind of softening things out with no product are going to be more in the center to the corner area. And the reason why is because I'm going to go in now with a different shade, and it's called Caramel Sauce. And it's this lovely little brown shade here. And I just want to kind of start stretching out my winged area. If that's even how you say that, girl. You can call it whatever you want. But as you can see here, very pigmented. Again, I'm really shocked at how affordable these guys are. And the fact that they're so velvety and so soft and so pigmented, but yet there's quite no fallout, if not any. I don't see any fallout. I'm really surprised. So let's go ahead and start, working that in. Okay, now that you've traced kind of the wing out of it, what I like to do is I like to go back with the first brush we utilized, which is a Sonia Kashuk. It doesn't really have a number, but it's called the rounded crease brush. And what I like to do is I like to tilt my head and just with very little to no pressure, holding it from essentially the end of the brush, I like to start kind of like very gently pulling back and forth, stretching out my eyelid, making sure, you know, everything is looking soft. That's what we want. We want to make sure everything's looking quite soft. Again, if it's not looking very soft on an initial take, don't stress about it, because the reality is that we're still in the beginning stages of everything. So relax. This will pull together, you know, by the end. And if it doesn't, girl, you can always take it off and put it back on. It is what it is. So let's move on to the next step. What I want to do now is I want to make sure that everything is seamlessly blended. Now that I've kind of played back and forth between the actual first placement brush and the one that we have with the caramel sauce, what I want to do is I want to start grabbing the lid tone, and that's going to be the Ruby Slippers, which is kind of like the most iconic shade, I guess, you know, because this is a fiery palette, so this is like the most fiery shade in here. So I'm excited to try, and we're gonna just, oh baby, do you see this? Oh, all right. We're gonna start placing this in inner corner lid, and then we're gonna kind of start moving it around. Kind of like so, of course, very beginning stages. So if it's looking a little busted, don't stress. So now that the color of the lid is placed, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna run the brush that we use to extend the wing, and I'm just gonna run it through to make sure everything is very nice and seamless. Now grabbing a kind of, I want to call this a stippling brush or a packing brush, but it has a little bit of fluff to it. And the reason why we're doing a lot of fluff is because I want this to be very like blown out, but also very smoky, very in theme of kind of like what the palette does and is. And I want to utilize this beautiful metallic shade, and this one's called Sunstone. Yep, Sunstone. And it's this corner one right here. So I want to just kind of like create movement, kind of like just like an experience of fire within my eyes. Great, so now that that has been placed between the Sunstone and the Ruby Red, I want to dip into Sleepwalker, which is, I want to say the darkest shadow in the palette, which is that corner shadow right there. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of concentrate a little bit of the pigment down at the end of the eye, stretching and pulling it a little bit towards the crease just to create more intensity and more vibrancy within the red contrast. I think I'm pretty happy with the up part. I think a good lash is gonna get me where I need to be and wanna be. All I did off of camera was line my top waterline. I wanna do a wing liner. However, I feel like because we extended this so far out, I wanna kind of just be organic and kind of like just very natural. And I feel like a wing liner could potentially be like, I don't know. However, I gotta tell you that there has been some fallout. I don't know if you guys can catch around this area. There has been some fallout. Nothing too bad, nothing too extravagant. However, there was a little fallout. So let's move on to the bottom, I guess, lash line. I'm sorry. What would that be called professionally?
the bottom lash line. I guess that's professional enough. So let's go to the bottom lash line. I have a brush here by Luna Magic. It doesn't really tell me what kind of brush it is. However, it is kind of like this type of shape, has the kind of slanted, but you know, decent kind of life. And what I'm gonna do is why do I talk like that? I feel like I talk like a maniac, but I guess I am a maniac. It is what it is. All right. So what I want to do is I want to kind of create a little bit of a je ne sais pas. And I'm going to do as a base, let's see, what do I do as a base? I want to do hot sauce as a base, which is this shade right here. And then I'm going to do on top of that Tango. And I think I'm going to smooth it out with pumpkin spice to kind of create, you know, a little bit more brightness, but still within the fiery theme. So I'm excited. Let's do this. So now that I've placed hot sauce on the bottom lash line, I'm gonna go in, apply the pumpkin spice. To blur out the mesh between hot sauce and pumpkin spice, I'm gonna be utilizing a kind of more bullety, fluffier brush, and this is by Morphe. Just grabbing pumpkin spice, and let's go into the blending. So now that I've done both, I'm gonna go in with the Tango shade, which is the most kind of orangey shade that they have available as a shimmer shade in the 16 palette. And I'm just gonna use the same brush that I used for my bottom pumpkin spice shade. And I'm just gonna go around the waterline and kind of just create a little bit of dimension, because I just want it to be very eye-catching, especially when the light hits it. You know, you have a little bit of glitter here and then a little bit of glitter there. Girl, let's do it. Now that I have placed the little bit of glitter down there, I actually was really targeted to do a black, because I felt like a black liner on the waterline would have been like very smoky, very in theme. However, I'm kind of thinking that I want to do a little something to step out of the box. And that little something, I mean, this is a very odd step out of the box, but I feel like a little something that would be a really cute detail is a yellow liner on the waterline. And this is the Easy on the Eyes Tarte Yellow Liner. All right, so eyeliner is on the lids, and girl, I'm kind of living for this. What I think I want to do though, to really enhance and focus, I think I want to do a little bit of black underneath the yellow, just where my lash line is. I feel like that's going to make everything happen. For this look in particular, I'm going to be using the Lancome, and this is shade black. Yep, Black Ebony. And I have sharpened this for it to be as sharp as I can. And I'm gonna try my best to like stay right on that lash line. Okay, so now that that is done, let me put my mascara, my lashes, let me come back, get these eyebrows ready, girl, and let's give you a final thought, review, information on this palette. I will be right back.
All right, you guys, so my face is fully done. I've had this makeup on for a couple of hours at this point in time, and I've got to tell you that this has been such a great experience. Honestly, like for my first opportunity trying this palette, it is honestly iconic. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think everything works really well. I think once I incorporated the blush, you know, it just dissipated. It worked so nicely. Every single look I've done was just really approachable. Even the highlighter, like the highlight that I have on today is Tango mixed in with all that glitters. Yeah, all that glitters. Sorry, it's a little dirty. So it's this top one here with this corner one right here. And I've got to tell you, I'm just really surprised for the value. They do have several options. If you want something larger, if you want something that's a little smaller, they have those opportunities for you. And I've got to be honest with you, I recommend this. I do. I think the color palette, the color story, it's just very user-friendly. Even though it's a very warm palette, I think even the reds, even though they are red, they're not like, oh, girl, I can't handle this. And I can see all ages using this. I can see definitely someone who's super, super young to mid-adulthood to actual, an aging adult being able to wear these comfortably and to feel beautiful into them. So I gotta tell you, I do recommend them. I think they are really, really nice for the price. Quality is incredible. Even if the price was a little bit higher, I would still recommend, because I gotta be honest with you, it just works really well. Like, I've been very effortless within the looks. I really enjoyed how this guy turns out. I like the fact that the waterline in yellow looks really cool. Like, I'm really happy, if I'm honest with you, and I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope you guys enjoyed the 2 looks that we did. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, honey, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel. Join the Doofay family. We are honestly so excited every single time we get a new member, because the family's growing, and we're working so adamantly and so hard to get you guys these reviews and have you guys understand the product better and have you guys really enjoy, what we're doing. And I've got to be honest with you, I have so much fun doing this with you and for you guys. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would love for you to join the Doofay family. Hit the notification bell, the thumbs up, because if I know, you know what I'm saying? Leave in the comment down below if you want to see me do any review of any other brand, palette. Girl, just let me know down at the comment below, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye!